Hello and welcome to the Star Award Show brought to you by the Bob Mwiti Foundation. For some students, confidence is nurtured from an early age. For others, it is built through hardship, rejection, and the determination to keep moving forward anyway. Today, we meet Shanel Kagwiria, Form 3 student at St. Mary's Girls High School, Igoji, from Choroiboro Village, Rirwarera Ward in Bori constituency, Meru County. Shanel is raised by her grandmother, and life at home has been marked by financial strain, illness, and uncertainty. Shanel has also faced rejection from a father who has been absent in her life from the very beginning. And yet, she has chosen to move forward. She has poured her energy into education, consistently performing well in school despite repeated interruptions caused by school fees, lack of revision materials, and long absences from class. Today, we follow her journey. Our journey takes us through Nkunga Forest and Imenti Forest, gradually carrying us from the greener highlands into the lower semi-arid stretches of Bori constituency. Beyond the forest cover, the landscape opens into warmer and drier terrain as we make our way toward Choroiboro village in Ruire location of Kiruanari Ward, Meru County. The village is set across hilly ground where narrow paths rise and fall between the scattered homesteads. Eventually, we arrive at an old compound whose withered structures bear the visible marks of time and limited resources. This is the home of Shanel Kagwiria's grandmother, and it is here that much of Shanel's earliest story began.
My name is Shanel Kagwiria. I'm in St. Mary's Igoji in 4 East. As a student, I'm very focused and hardworking. Yeah, sometimes even when I'm sent home, I always ensure I'm always learning so that I can ensure that I'm not left a lot behind.
Long before she became a student at St. Mary's Girls Igoji, Shanel was a young child whose future depended on different people.
After giving birth to Shanel, her mother left to look for work and later got married. I remained with the baby and took responsibility for raising her.
I was born here in Meru. My mom left so that she could work, so that she can at least pay my school fees. I've never seen my father. He left me when I was a child.
Choosing again and again not to let her fall through the cracks.
I stayed with the child, continued with her education.
Shanel was rejected by her father from birth and has grown up without his care or financial support.
Her father has never taken care of her. He never looked back, and even now, he does not know whether she is studying or not.
I've never seen my father. He left me when I was a child. I've never seen him. I just know his name is Mugambi. Yeah. So I've lived here at my grandmother's place.
Her mother remained part of her life, but illness, unemployment, and unstable living circumstances often limited what she could provide.
So my mom has high blood pressure. That's what brought me here, because she could not do any work. She had to leave the work because it was giving her problems. And then she had high blood sugar.
During Shanel's early years, her grandmother received and became the person responsible for her daily needs.
I took the child and did everything I could to raise her. At that time, her mother was still working and helping me because she had not yet become ill.
My life here was a bit difficult because sometimes we had no food. Yeah, sometimes my shoulder goes to other shambas to plant for them so that she can get the money.
She survived through whatever casual work became available.
I approached an elderly woman and we agreed that whenever she had work, she would call me so that I would not have to keep moving around looking for jobs. I have worked for her until now. I wash her clothes, take care of her livestock, cultivate her farm, and perform other household duties.
Whatever she earned had to cover needs waiting at home.
I always have to calculate how we will get food food. That is something I must think about every day.
And when work was unavailable, the family sometimes borrowed food or simply went without.
When there is no food, we simply persevere because there is nothing else we can do. We cook whatever is available in the house. Sometimes Shanel tells me that we can just make plain tea because nobody will know that I have not eaten.
She has friends who always call her. They tell her there's some work here to do. Maybe we can come and harvest some maize and beans. Yeah, Ama we can come and plant. So that she'll go and come, and she's paid like 400 shillings.
Life in the homestead was not always peaceful. Shanel's grandfather struggled with alcohol and sometimes returned home at night in a way that disturbed the household.
He was alcoholic that time. So yeah, he used to bring some problems. My grandmother's son has a son who used to disturb me. It was difficult living here that time.
For Shanel, responsibility began early. In a small household where resources are limited, even basic needs can become uncertain. These experiences have shaped her outlook, forcing her to mature quickly and understand challenges that many students her age are still protected from. Shanel began her education at a local school in the village.
I began my school here in a school called Mutuma Primary School,
where her academic ability became clear from an early stage.
I was a very bright student. I was loved by teachers very well because I'm very bright. I used to pass in exams.
She performed strongly, earned the confidence of her teachers, and repeatedly appeared among the leading pupils in her class.
Her aunt and I work together to ensure that her life and education continue moving forward.
However, her progress was taking place against an uncertain home background.
It was difficult because even if it says buying books, I don't have enough books to read. Yes, and sometimes I have to stay at home because she has no school fees to pay for me.
Her grandmother's casual work was not always available.
I do casual jobs wherever they are available. I cultivate farms, plant crops, harvest and clean. It is not an office job. I simply do whatever work I can find.
Her mother's health and financial situation remained difficult.
When her mother went away to work, she developed high blood pressure and asthma. After she had more children in her new home, it became difficult for her to continue working because of her illness. She eventually had to stop so that her body could rest.
And the instability within the homestead made it increasingly hard to provide the consistency Shanel needed.
Sometimes she has no work because not all the time she will be called to harvest. Yeah, so we'll have to stay here at home and depend on people.
By class 4, she moved to Thika to live with her aunt.
I joined her in a place, so she has been paying my school fees. The more she gets, she has been paying.
And transferred to Thika Muslim Primary School.
We decided that Shanel should join Thika Muslim Primary School so that she could complete her primary education in a more peaceful and stable environment.
So when my mom got sick, I had to transit from here so that I can go, and my aunt took me to a public school where it is near our home so that the transport can be fair. And I cannot use a lot of money in paying school fees.
The school was public and therefore more affordable.
So in the Muslim, I used to pay, I think, 500 a month. It was a public school. I was paying just the remedial fees. In public school, there is no much fees paid.
Whenever the aunt was unable to manage, other relatives tried to bridge the gap.
Whenever they lack something, they call me. Shanel does not recognize anyone else as the person who raised her. Even when you ask her who her mother is, she will point to me.
The move gave Shanel a more stable environment for learning, and she responded by continuing to perform well.
My aunt's place is better because at least there I can read. She has a place is good, I can read. Yeah, she can that time she always used to provide for me.
As she approached KCPE, Shanel became increasingly clear about what she wanted.
I prepared very well. Yeah, I did better revision for my KCPE so that I could score good marks because I was motivated to go to a national school. I always used to tell myself that it's a must I go to a national school.
When the results were released, Shanel emerged as the best pupil in her school.
I got 391 marks. My aim was 410 marks, yeah, because I knew my potential is that.
The results earned her admission to St. Mary's Girls Igojim, one of the schools she hoped to join.
When I was in school, when I was in primary school, I had chosen going to St. Mary's Girls. Yeah, so they just gave me the school that I was choosing when I was choosing it as number 3.
I was very happy when she was admitted to St. Mary's Girls Igoji. I knew it was a national school with a good reputation, and many students who have studied there have performed well.
The admission letter opened the door academically, yet the family did not have the money required to walk through it.
We even applied a Elimu scholarship and the KCB scholarship. Yeah, so I did an interview in Elimu scholarship. They didn't provide one. I went again and tried KCB scholarship, and they also didn't provide.
With the reporting date approaching, the family turned to relatives and well-wishers.
We borrowed money from her aunts, and I also borrowed from my sisters. Together with support from her aunts and the little her mother could provide, we managed to do shopping for her.
My family, some of the members, they just provided, you see, one sends 1K, another one sends 2K. Yeah, so the money just came from different places. Yeah, they supported me a lot. So we did our shopping.
Through those combined efforts, Shanel finally reported to St. Mary's Girls Igoji.
And also my grandfather supported us. Yeah.
So joining St. Mary's, you had your shopping and you had the uniform.
Yeah.
Joining St. Mary's Girls was a major achievement, but remaining there became a continuing struggle.
We did not pay the full school fees. We paid a small amount and spoke to the teachers. Whenever we get something, we send it to the school. That is how we have managed until now.
My grandmother always applies bursary. Then my mom also applies bursary. There is also an aunt of mine who applies bursary.
That fear is strongest on Fridays.
I have this trauma. Every Friday, we are always sent home. There is a certain Friday we meet that you will be sent home. So every Friday in school, I always listen at the parade if the principal is announcing that people are being sent home.
At first, the different people supporting her continued trying to hold the arrangement together.
When I was in Form 1 and Form 2, at least they used to pay and clear. My aunt has no job, my mom has no job, my grandmother's job is getting a lot low, and then the bursaries are also not enough to pay for my school fees.
But the support system around Shanel was financially fragile, and over time, each part of it began to weaken.
Things became especially difficult during the last term of Form 2. Before then, her grandfather used to support us with the little he had, but by that time, he had passed away.
Shanel was sent home repeatedly.
I have missed a lot of exams, by the way. I've missed, I think, like 5 exams in Form 3. Yeah, and the exams that I've done, I started getting a B- when I was in Form 3, because I always went home and stayed for 2 weeks, and even went back to school like that with no school fees.
Sometimes remaining away from school for close to 2 weeks.
Because when I'm at home, I can stay even 2 weeks without school fees, without being paid for school fees. So like I have to go and learn. I have to kesha at night, even at Paka 1.
At St. Mary's Girls, the syllabus moves quickly so that the final year can be devoted to revision and examination preparation.
They were trying to move the syllabus fast so that when you reach in Form 4, they can just be done with the syllabus at some point. So yeah, catching up was very difficult because they have to make the program run faster.
When she eventually returns, she must follow the current lesson while also trying to recover everything she missed.
When I got back to school, catching up is a lot difficult because the teachers are still continuing the syllabus. They won't recognize that you are not there, so they just continue.
Yet, learning alone is not always enough.
The students, maybe you can ask them and they tell you they didn't understand, so you just have to learn yourself.
Sometimes the family cannot raise transport fare in time for her to report to school.
I always not go to school at the same time with others. You can meet you're going back to school from a holiday at this day, but I have to stay some days so that my mom can look for transport to school because she lacks my transport for school. Yeah, so she has to borrow that transport.
Academically, Shanel has continued to perform strongly, but her academic journey has rarely been uninterrupted. Frequent school balances have forced her out of class for weeks at a time, creating gaps in learning that are difficult to recover from. Missing revision materials, lacking transport fare, and struggling to keep up after long absences all add pressure to an already demanding academic path. Despite these setbacks, she continues to compete and remain focused on her goals.
Shanel understands the challenges we face. Some children become difficult when they reach Form 3, but she does not. She knows I am the one taking care of her, so she does not pressure me with demands.
Her interest in technology has also taken practical form through her computer studies project.
That computer studies project, it's a project that every Form 4 is doing right now in KCSE. So it will help the society because it's an internet service provider project.
Behind Shanel's confidence lies a painful question that has followed her since childhood. She has never met the father who rejected her.
The absence of my dad has affected me a lot because seeing people with their fathers and their fathers providing for them, it really hurts me because I can't depend on my mother and I have no father.
For Shanel, that rejection has been difficult to understand. There are moments when that rejection makes her question her worth.
It has helped me get the passion of learning and to make my future very good so that I can show them that even if he rejected me, I can still live.
Instead of Shanel allowing rejection and difficulty to define her sense of worth, she has transformed those experiences into motivation. Her dream of becoming a surgeon is deeply personal, shaped by watching her mother struggle with illness and by the desire to one day provide care, stability, and hope for others. And from here, she continues forward, determined to build a future stronger than the circumstances she came from.
I've seen my mom sick. And I've also seen my great-grandmother there. She's very sick. And most of my family members are also dying of sickness. So being a doctor has come from the fact that I'm seeing them sick.
Shanel first learned about the Bob Mwiti Foundation through a WhatsApp status that her aunt had seen.
I was in my aunt's place when she was looking at her phone and then she saw a person advertising in a WhatsApp status. Yeah, she saw it, then she told me.
Curious about the opportunity, she searched for more information online and discovered the Star Award application process.
There was a diagram that she saw, a picture that she saw. So I went to Google and I Googled Bob Mwiti Foundation. That's why I told her that the program is being applied here.
With her aunt's support, she gathered the required information, wrote her essay, and submitted her application.
So she helped me apply it. We put everything, we wrote the essay.
The Bob Mwiti Foundation is rooted in lived experience shaped by the journey of its chairman.
I grew up in a very humble family, raised primarily by my grandparents. In primary school, I worked very hard and was fortunate to become one of the top students in Meru County. That performance earned me admission to one of the most prestigious schools in the country, Nairobi School.
Honorable Kinoti Gatobu, former Bori MP, was among the distinguished guests during the official launch of Bob Mwiti Foundation.
So I knew Bob through Nkobwa High School. Nkobwa High School really molded us. It changed our lives forever. Bob, I've never known Nkobwa High School was not your school of choice. It was a product of circumstances. Because even for me, Nkobwa High School was not my choice. My dream school since I was a small boy was Tarehe Boys. But Many years later, when I look back, one of the best things that happened in my life was going to Nkobwa School.
Bob Mwiti and Honorable Gatobu first came to know each other through their former high school, Nkobo High School, a connection that has remained strong over the years.
The principal invited us to form Nkobo High School Old Boys Association, and he picked me to be the patron. That's when now I came to meet Bob, and we became great friends. And he was very committed to the cause.
During the event, Honorable Gatobu praised Bob Mwiti for consistently being at the forefront of empowering dreams and creating opportunities for young people through education and mentorship.
And Bob never misses. Sometimes he takes a flight from US to come and mentor the boys of Nkobwa School. That tells you how committed, how loving he is. Even last year, July, we were with him again in Nkobwa School, mentoring the young boys, supporting them, and really Bob, saa ingine sisi tukiwa Kenya tuna miss the mentorship day, but Bob akiwa wapi, hata akiwa Pluto, atachukua rocket akuje.
He also expressed his appreciation for seeing a vision that began as a personal dream finally come to fruition through the establishment of the Bob Mwiti Foundation, an initiative now dedicated to supporting and uplifting vulnerable students and communities.
I'm very happy to learn that Bob has had this dream for a long time. This is a great thought. This is a great commitment. As the disciples of Bob, tujiulize tukiwa tunatembea na Bob kwa hii safari ya kuguza maisha in our own small ways, how can we touch our families, our neighbors, all the people near and even far from us.
As part of a mission to give back to the community.
About 8 years ago, I began quietly supporting top students from my local primary school, Gikumene, and my alma mater, Nkobo High School. As the years went by, I realized there was a need to create a more structured and scalable way to help many more students. That vision led to the creation of the Bob Mwiti Foundation.
Through its flagship Star Award, the foundation seeks to empower brilliant and financially needy students through high school education.
Through the Star Award, we support outstanding high school students across Meru County. Every week, the foundation awards Kenya shillings 20,000 to one student from each administrative ward within Meru County.
When we arrived, Shanel had already spent weeks away from school.
Right now I've stayed home from 16th May up to now.
The news brought relief.
I was very happy and thanked God because I was not expecting such good news. It came when I had almost lost hope.
I was to go back to school just like that with nothing. And I knew that there's always this Friday that will come and I'll be sent home again.
For a student whose greatest struggle has been the repeated loss of learning time, that support carries a meaning far beyond the amount itself.
I appreciate a lot. Yeah, giving me this opportunity, it means a lot to me because it will help me go back to school right now. I'll be able to revise and it will help me because I'll stay in school. Yeah, and learn a lot and achieve a good grade.
I thank him very much. May God bless him, expand his boundaries, and multiply everything he touches. May God bless him greatly.
You can support this family and help ease their burden through this M-Pesa number. Your kindness is truly appreciated. Through the Bob Mwiti Foundation, you have an opportunity to nurture education and support determined students. Your contributions go directly toward easing the burden of school fees, helping ensure that these students are able to remain in school. Shanel Kagwiria's journey reminds us that a difficult beginning does not have to determine the future. Despite financial hardship, repeated interruptions in school, and deeply personal challenges, she has remained focused on her education and committed to building a better life for herself and her family. Through the Star Award, the Bob Mwiti Foundation continues to support students like Shanel, helping to ease the burden of school fees and create the stability needed for consistent learning. This has been the Star Award Show, brought to you by the Bob Mwiti Foundation. Thank you for watching.